Hi guys, I'm Harry Yotis. I've been a professional trader for 20 years now. I started in 2005 working for National Bank Financial, which is one of the big six banks in Canada. And now, for the past 10 years, I've been trading my own account. So having said that, let's begin with the daily market update for November the 17th, Monday, 2025. This is the Monday. I'm looking at the picture of the S&P 500. This is Monday. Okay, so let's see what happened technically speaking. On Friday, we held the 50-day moving average, which is this red line right here. But today, on Monday, we closed below it. So technically, that means that this trend is broken. Okay, this whole upward trend that we've seen has been broken, quote unquote. Okay, it doesn't mean that it's bearish. It could just go sideways for a while, but technically speaking, it's broken. However, it could quickly recover, and this could be a bear trap, if you will, because if you look, this is not, the red line is not a Rubicon. It's like once you cross it, it's over. Okay, I mean, there are plenty of instances in the past where, look, it goes below, but then it goes back to highs. Okay, we here on August 2024, one day below close, the next day close, and then bull after that. Here, close below the 50. Yes, maybe a couple of days more, a week or two, and then back up to new highs. So yeah, maybe if you're a day trader, which I am not, I don't advocate for it, but I play the longer game. So technically speaking, this is a break, but it could recover very quickly. If it doesn't stays below there, it's probably bad. Okay, but given the fact that I don't just look at the technicals, I look at other things as well. The sentiment, I mean, I don't think this is very bad. Okay, and I'll tell you why, because the sentiment here, the fear and greed index is at 15. Okay, that's extreme lows. I mean, if you look at it during this April massive sell-off of 10%, 20%, I think, we got to like 3 or 4. So we're basically like 10 points away from 3 or 4, the massive lows of the tariff tantrum. And we're basically still at highs. What was the high here? 690, and we're at 666. Very ominous. So, I mean, the sentiment is like washed out. We also have like a lot of people, buying puts and protecting their downside. I mean, you could look at the put call ratio, if you will. I mean, this is the CBOE options total put call ratio, but it's for the end of the day. On Friday, it was 104. Okay, that's pretty high. You can see how it goes this at these levels. This was the taper tantrum, not the taper tantrum, but the tariff tantrum. Went up to 121, just 104. So today it'll probably be higher because we're drifting lower and closed below the 50. So you have a lot of people buying puts. You have a lot of fear in the marketplace. And if you look at the sub indices of the fear and greed index, you have extreme fear almost everywhere. Look at that. Extreme fear everywhere except for market volatility, which is fear. So we are at extremes here. And the market volatility that they're talking about is the VIX. Okay, the VIX is at 22. It's pretty high. Anything above 20 is pretty high. So I'm expecting the VIX to come down. Okay, given all this stuff going on, I expect these extreme situations to abate in the near future. Okay, so why do we have these extremes? Okay, basically, let's make it a theme of today's Monday's episode is that we are experiencing FUD, FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, if you will. I hate that term, but it's like the only term that could encompass what I'm trying to say is that we're experiencing extreme fear with very bad news out there. Okay, and the biggest news that we had today was that Peter Thiel's fund sold off their entire NVDA stake this quarter. Okay, so if you read Peter Thiel's macro fund, Thiel Macro LLC sold his entire NVIDIA stake last quarter, according to its 13F filing. Okay, so that's bearish for NVIDIA. Okay, I mean, you had this, you had also Michael Burry coming in. Michael Burry slams NVIDIA, Palantir. We saw this before. We have SoftBank coming in with SoftBank sells its entire stake in NVIDIA for 5.83 billion. So you have all this stuff like NVIDIA sucks, okay? So given all of this FUD, or negative publicity, I should say, for NVIDIA, what has NVIDIA done? Still holding the 50. It's actually down just like 2% today, not even, okay? So still hasn't broken the trend of higher highs and higher lows, hugging the 50. You got a triple hit of negative bad news for the entire AI sector, NVIDIA specifically, and the leader is still there, still at 50, still bullish. This is why, and you have sentiment washed out 15. Okay, this is why, I mean, I'm still bullish, because this is not a big move down for such negative sentiment at highs, okay? I mean, could it go even lower? Could it follow SPY, or could it follow Bitcoin where it just crashed? Maybe, I don't know. But given the fact that we have this news out, everybody knows it, this is a very, very muted reaction. And what about the semiconductor sector as a whole? It's almost a carbon copy of NVIDIA. Look at this chart. Still holding the 50. Consolidation touched the 50 for the first time, going up, touched the 50 for the second time during this massive bull run. Okay, this massive bull run. So, I mean, to me, this is pretty bullish. You have extreme negative news in the sector, which the semiconductors are leading the market and have led the market. This is not bad. This is actually pretty good. It's like you're a boxer who's taken a couple of hits and you're still standing and nothing really happening. You're not feeling any effects. So to me, the FUD for the NVIDIA poster child of the AI race is still pretty solid. Nothing to fear yet, okay, despite all that bad news. The other thing that came out today is that Amazon, that supports this AI thing, the AI FUD, is that stock slide after Amazon shocks with another massive bond offering, but rebounds on news Boaz Weinstein selling hyperscaler CDS. Okay, basically what this article is saying is that just when it seemed that the risk was about to stabilize this morning for the AI craze, this morning Amazon decided to add more supply to the biggest trade of 2026, which is BofA's, Bank of America's Michael Hartnett, saying to short hyperscaler bonds. Meaning what he's trying to say here is that because all these AI leaders like Meta, Amazon, and what have you are trying to build AI infrastructure, they're going to need to fund it. So they're going to issue a lot of bonds, so you want to short those bonds because rates will probably go up. Okay, but the fact is that this is contradicting evidence, because if before they were saying that there's too much AI data centers, okay, there's going to be a glut of them, then why is Amazon going to spend more on AI? Okay, if there's like a glut going on, they just buy the AI data centers that exist for pennies on the dollar if there's a glut. Okay, so like you're getting like a lot of fear on this AI front. Okay, so this further, I mean, what is Amazon doing? Let's see what the effect is on this news. Barely down 1% today on this news. Still doing okay, maintaining. It's like retesting this breakout level here. Let's draw the line. Basically retesting these levels here. Okay, maybe not the ultimate high, but around these levels here. Okay, so it's going back down into this zone of previous resistance. Okay, remember, these are not exact figures. I should draw like a zone here between like 250 and like 230. So it's like around this zone here, 240 I should say, and 230. This entire zone is a zone of probably supply. Or demand, because what was supply now turns into demand. However, the main point of all this is to show that the FUD in the space is not really destroying these AI stocks. Okay, so let's put a period on this topic for the day. And the other topic that I'd like to talk about for today that is gone unnoticed, again, still no deal. Rare earth talks between China and the U.S. drag on while little tangible progress so far. Okay, so everybody's touting a deal. Trump was touting a deal. Nope. There is no deal on the rare earths front. So the stock that I like to play is MP. What is it doing? Well, as you know, on Friday of last week, we got in here, of the 2 weeks ago, I should say. We got in because of this bullish engulfing. We were looking to enter the space again because I like the rare earth element or the critical elements play. So now what we're looking for is, like we mentioned last time, is a higher low here. Okay, so given that fact, we have encouraging technical patterns here. We have a lot of 2 wicks from Friday, and today we have some kind of wick forming. So I hopefully, you never know what's going to happen. This is the low, and we start going higher again. I don't know. But the point is that the rare earth space is probably a longer term play. As long as Trump is in power, he's going to start protecting U.S. industries. And this is why I am still bullish on this area of play, let's say. This narrative, the critical metals play. Okay, so let's reiterate. SPY, technically, today closed below the 50, breaking the trend. So it's, let's say, back to neutral. But we've seen that this could be a bear trap in the past, where a drop below is just temporary before the big major move happens again. A drop below the 50 here before the major move happens again. A drop below the 50, higher, lower again, but then even higher. This is a big move from 574 to 610, 15. This is a big move. Okay, doesn't look like it after this drop, but if you lived it during here, it's a big rebound. So this is what I'm expecting here to happen. I'm expecting this to be a fake out. Get more bears in. I mean, look, we have the put call ratio at high, so more bears are coming in, and so is the fear and greed. So I still expect a rally to happen. Don't get too worried about the NVIDIA thing. So far, so good. Okay, it's not imploding, despite the massive barrage of negative news out there. And the rare earth thing is still looking good from our buy point. Okay, so that's it for Monday. And remember, the big news for the week is Wednesday NVIDIA earnings, and Thursday the jobs report is coming out. So 2 minefields for this week that we're going to report on coming up. So that's it for Friday, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. This channel is purely for education purposes. These are just my thoughts. Have fun, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.